Okay, hi everybody, I'm back again in Revelation 10. Last time we saw that the mighty angel come down from heaven is the Lord himself coming back for our rapture. And we're going to move on to verse 4, and we're going to tie this into Daniel chapter 12. And we're going to see that these are the same events in Revelation 10 and Daniel 12, which is going to give us a deeper understanding here. Okay, but first we're going to go to Daniel 10. And the vision in Daniel 12 actually begins in Daniel 10. Okay, so we'll find out who's speaking or we'll have a clearer idea of who's speaking in Revelation 12 when we see who's speaking to Daniel to begin the vision in Daniel 10. Okay, so in verse 1 it says, "In the third year of Cyrus, king of Persia, a thing was revealed unto Daniel." Okay, the thing was true, but the time appointed was long, and he understood the thing. He had understanding of the vision. Okay, and here's the vision. In verse 5, "I lifted up mine eyes and looked, and behold a certain man, clothed in linen, whose loins were girded with fine gold. His body also was like the beryl, and his face as the appearance of lightning, and his eyes as lamps of fire, and his arms and his feet like in color to polished brass, and the voice of his words like the voice of a multitude." So I think it's clear there that's God himself. That's why Daniel falls down as if dead. Okay, so now on to Daniel 12. And let's read most of this. Okay, and starting in verse 1, it says, "And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. At that time thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book. And many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life, and some to shame and everlasting contempt. And they that be wise shall shine as the brightness of the firmament, and they that turn many to righteousness as the stars forever and ever. But thou, O Daniel, shut up the words, and seal the book, even to the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased." Then I, Daniel, looked, and behold, there stood other two, the one on this side of the bank of the river, and the other on that side of the bank of the river. And one said to the man clothed in linen, okay, which was God here, he's standing upon the waters, which was upon the waters of the river, "How long shall it be to the end of these wonders?" So Daniel is asking about what the Lord just said here, okay, where he said that at that time shall his people be delivered. Every one found written in the book of life is written at this, or is delivered at this time, okay, so obviously no one after this will be delivered. Okay, and let's see the answer the Lord gave him. "And I heard the man clothed in linen, which was upon the waters of the river, when he held up his right hand and his left hand unto heaven, and sware by him that liveth forever and ever, that it shall be for times and a half, and when he shall have accomplished to scatter the power of the holy people, all these things shall be finished." Okay, so notice here, all these things will be finished when? After a time, times and a half. Okay, and remember what times are. Those are years. So a time is one time, times is two times, right? And a half is a half a time, so 3.5 times, right? All these things shall be finished, and every one that shall be found written in the book shall awake at that time. Okay, so obviously no one will be saved after the rapture, and then God's wrath will be poured out. In Revelation chapter 15, the vials of wrath will be poured out, and that's basically the end for them. uh, but let's move on in Revelation chapter 10 now, and just look at all the parallels between these two chapters. And in verse 4 of Revelation 10, it says, "Seal up those things which the seven thunders uttered, and write them not." And over here we have the same thing. "Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book, even to the time of the end." And in verse 9, "Daniel, the words are closed up and sealed till the time of the end." So Revelation 10 and Daniel 12, both sealed up until the time of the end. And let's just continue with these parallels. And the angel which I saw stand upon the sea and upon the earth lifted up his hand to heaven. Okay, so the angel stood upon the sea and upon the earth. And over here, we saw that there stood other two, the one on this side of the bank of the river and the other on that side of the bank of the river. So one man on one side of the river, one man on the other, and the Lord upon the waters of the river. Okay, and remember in Acts chapter 1 that when the Lord ascended into heaven, there were two men standing there who told the apostles he'd come back in like manner in a cloud. And also when the Lord was transfigured on the Mount of Transfiguration, that Moses and Elijah were there. Okay, so here are these two men again on either side of the Lord. Okay, so they're standing on the earth while he's standing on the water, and here we see the angel of the Lord. Okay, he stood upon the sea and upon the earth, right? So there's a parallel there on the land and on the sea. Okay, and he lifted up his hand to heaven, and over here, same thing, God lifts up his hand to heaven and swears by himself in both chapters, Revelation 10 and Daniel 12. As we see in verse 6, it says, and swear by him that liveth forever and ever, who created heaven, and the things that therein are, and the earth, and the things that therein are, and the sea, and the things which are therein, that there should be time no longer. And once again, in Daniel 12, verse 7, it says, and I heard the man clothed in linen, which was upon the waters of the river, when he held up his right hand and his left hand unto heaven. So there's the holding up of the hand. And he swore by him that liveth forever and ever, right? That it shall be for times and a half. So once again, a perfect match. And we'll be moving on to verse 7 next. And I'm going to do that in the next video. And we're going to match that up to 1 Thessalonians chapter 4 and 1 Corinthians chapter 15. And we're going to find it's a perfect match for the rapture. And that'll be the end of this video. I'll see you in the next one. God bless.